Hey, Teddy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Okay, great. So you can hear okay?
I'm not seeing anything on my screen. It's just giving me that circle thing saying waiting for the host to start this meeting. Okay.
Yeah. Can you see me now?
No.
Really? You can't see me, but you can hear me?
Yes. It's just that it says I'm seeing a screen that tells me the meeting ID, the time says that this is a recurring meeting. And then at the bottom, it says, if you are the host, sign in to start this meeting. So I didn't want to press on sign in.
Cindy,
Or
can
should
you
I?
hear me?
I think Cindy left.
No, she left. Okay. Morning. Hi, Teresa. So I wonder, Patty, can you see yourself?
No.
Can anybody see me? I don't want to show the screen. No, I don't want to do that. I need you to sign in and tell me if you can see me. Teresa, are you there? Okay.
I even did my hair and put makeup on for this.
Good.
Tucker, you're not going back out.
Well, that's weird that you can. Hi, Monica.
She might not be able to talk because she's listening in at work, at her desk at work.
Okay. Can anybody, Monica, can you see me? She's muted. Okay. Okay, who is? Hey, Cindy.
Good morning.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
Patty, you can't. Patty, I think you need to change your settings at the bottom of the screen. Where it says stop video, no, that wouldn't do it.
I don't even have that. So let me leave it and rejoin and see if that does anything.
Okay. All right, well, that's good. Hi, good morning. Okay, so at least I know it's working. Okay.
Good morning, Monica and Teresa and Debbie. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Oops. Oh, well, let's see. I wonder if we should.
Okay. It's working now.
You can see me? You can see us now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Oh, good too.
Hi, Deb.
Yeah, hi, Cindy. Hi, girls. Hi, Deb.
How are you?
Good. Maybe we can put it out there. Will that work? See what we do? Maybe we can turn it around. Or we can just turn it facing us and maybe, will that work?
I'm really excited about this call this morning, and you guys are going to love Lacey.
I'm excited to hear what she has to say.
She's amazing considering she started when she was 23, and what she's done is, it's just amazing, especially at her age, I think, at any age, but okay. So, and she has about 30 minutes, so we'll probably be off by about 10:30.
Sounds good.
Yeah, kind of.
Did it say? I believe it's recording. If anybody wants to say hi, let us know. If you're tuning in from outside of Michigan, let us know.
Hi, this is Kim. I'm in East Hampton, New York.
Oh, great. Hi, Kim. Thanks for joining.
My name's Lauren Phillips, and I'm from Tennessee.
Hi, Lauren.
Hey.
I'm Anna Brown. I'm from Tennessee.
You're from Tennessee?
Yes, we're sisters.
Okay. Okay, and I think Lacey's getting ready to hop on. Oh, hi, Lacey. I think you're muted. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. We're excited to have you this morning.
I'm excited to be here.
Okay, great. So I think we're going to get started here. And thank you all for coming this morning. So within the last year, I was in a training pod for our Brave Leaders program, and that's how I met Lacey Dawn. She's one of the 6 people in our group, and she's just been amazing in this past year. So she's 24 years old, she's a yoga studio owner, a dog mom, and a free spirit. So she started last, I want to say August, and in less than 10 months, she was able to reach the top ranks of our Juice Plus company. So she's just going to start telling her story and share how she was able to do this. And I think she's pretty much broken all Juice Plus records. I think she's been the fastest growing person in the history of Juice Plus. So we are so thrilled and lucky to have you, Lacey, with us this morning. And I'm going to let you get started.
So, Lydia, I appreciate it. And I'm so happy that we were in that pod together. Okay, so my story, if I don't know if you guys could you mute the lines?
I'm not sure. If I mute the line, don't you get muted or no?
I can unmute myself.
Okay, hold on. We'll try and do that. Oh my gosh. Wait. This whole Zoom thing, being a host, is new to me. Okay. Okay.
If not, it's okay.
Mute everybody.
We can just say, okay, so if you guys are on the line, if you could just go to the lower left-hand corner and mute yourself, there's a little mute button so that there's no background noise since we're recording. That'd be amazing. I'm a pro at this Zoom stuff, and you'll hear why in a second. But okay, yeah, hi guys. So my name is Lacey, and I started with the Juice Plus company in the middle of last August. And just a little recap before then, my life was pretty amazing. I had dropped everything when I was 20 years old and I moved to Hawaii. I'm from a very small town on the eastern tip of Long Island called Montauk, New York. And there's not much out there for the dreamers like me. So I had a really big fire inside of me, and I just wanted to get out and see the world. So when I could, I did. And I had to work for everything I had. So I had to save the money to be able to move to Hawaii. There was no support in someone paying my rent or my bills or anything. So I saved up enough money and I moved to Hawaii and I went to school there. And then I realized that I wanted to keep traveling. So I went to Indonesia and taught yoga retreats. And then I was like, how can I travel around the world but still be able to afford this lifestyle? So I decided to just teach yoga retreats all around the world and be able to make enough money to keep traveling. But obviously that lifestyle was not sustainable. I only made enough money to keep traveling. And when I was 23, I realized I really need to figure something out that I could do that is going to make me enough money to be able to have a family one day and not have to stress over money the way I saw my family stress over money. So I moved back home and I opened up my own yoga studio at home. And it was great because we have a seasonal business. So I was super busy in the high season, but I was trading so many hours for dollars. I was getting exhausted and my body just wasn't the same as what it once was. And I realized that I had stopped, I put my travels on hold and my free spirit on hold, and I was just constantly working. And then I wound up having to get an office job because I had to continue working to be able to afford the life I wanted. And I slowly just saw that life going out the window. So before I even was introduced to this company, I quit my office job and I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I had no direction. I just knew that if I hadn't closed the door to that opportunity, my right opportunity wouldn't come to me. So I quit. And then within 1 week, someone introduced me to Juice Plus. It was crazy. I was teaching her yoga and I think it's important to know how she introduced me so you guys can know that within 10 seconds of courage, you can find someone like me who really wanted this and went for it. So I was teaching her yoga at a clinic in Montauk, and she just came up to me after the class and was like, have you ever heard of Juice Plus? And I was like, no. I felt my judgmental, thoughts coming up, but I was like, I have absolutely nothing to lose. And this woman, if I take a second to look at her, she's beautiful. She's summering in the Hamptons. She's taking a yoga clinic. She doesn't have to work. I was like, I should probably hear her out what she has to say. So she was like, okay, I have a party on this date, come over. And I was like, oh, I'm not available, but I can come to your house right now and hear about it. And that's how it happened. I went to her house. She got me on the phone with my upline NMD, who is Ellie Shepley. And that was a really smart thing that she did. And I'll go more into detail on that. But her getting me on the phone with Ellie is what made me join the business, because her story didn't resonate with me. She was older. She has 2 kids. That's not my life right now. So her getting me on the phone with someone who's 28, who used to be a struggling yoga instructor trying to make ends meet in New York City, now travels the world making 6 figures. That was the story I wanted to hear. So Ellie told me her story, and immediately that's when I caught the vision. It was with that 3-way call that I was like, okay, I'm in. So that day I signed up for the business and I signed up for the product. And the product made a lot of sense to me. I'll just talk about quickly my health struggles. Before this, I was constantly fatigued and bloated, and traveling around the world, I saw countless doctors because I was always getting sick. I was hospitalized when I was in Europe and in Indonesia and constantly on antibiotics. They're like everywhere. So when this came into my life, I completely was like, oh my God, this is an amazing way to get more fruits and vegetables that I could actually digest into my body. I loved juicing prior to this. So I was all in on the product. It didn't take long for me to understand that it's just food. And I had been vegan for 2.5 years when I lived in Hawaii, but being vegan with the health struggles that I was challenged with, it was really hard because I couldn't eat a lot of fiber. I couldn't eat a lot of salads. I wasn't digesting it. So really the only thing that made me feel good was juice or something super processed, which wasn't necessarily good for me, but in the moment it felt better because it was just no fiber, just easy to digest. So this product made a lot of sense to me. And when I started the product, I initially looked at the shred and I was like, I'm going to go all in and try and do this Shred 10 program that they have so that I can now share this with people. And when I did the shred, my whole life had changed. I had a lot of like acne on my forehead, which is no longer there. I had extremely painful menstrual cramps, which are I completely gone now. I was thinking that this month actually, TMI, but I was like, wow, I used to be hospitalized for this and on prescription painkillers for it. Like they would give me Vicodin for the pain. So that's how horrible it was. My hair has grown a tremendous amount. I actually have the roots coming in really strong right now. And I haven't been to the doctor since last August. I haven't been on antibiotics in over close to a year now, which is huge for me because growing up, I was pretty much on antibiotics every other month. And there was not one winter in my entire 23 years of living that I did not get strep throat or a sinus infection or anything. So it's definitely just a testimony of how amazing the product is, but we all know that. And I'm super confident in that. So with the business, this is how I sort of took it and ran with it. Like Lydia said, within 6 months, I hit the second top tier in the company, which was qualifying national marketing director. And then within 7 months, I hit the volume and the structure for our top tier. But that month, it started the 3-month hold for national marketing director. So I had to actually then hold it until 3 months later, which got me there in 10 months, which was pretty amazing. And some of the things that this has allowed me just in the past year is pretty incredible. I was looking last year, for example, to buy a car, and my budget was like $2,000 tops. I was like, there's no way I could spend any more than that on this car. I'm struggling to pay rent, struggling to pay bills, and now I was able to cut a $10,000 check, buy a car, still pay rent in Montauk, New York, which is very expensive, especially this time of year. I can still pay my bills. I pay my phone bill. I pay my car insurance. I pay everything myself. So this business has allowed me to do that. And it's also allowed me to travel. I went to Peru. I've been to a lot of different places this year alone, just speaking at events or going to our company conferences. And there's never a month where I'm not traveling for at least a third of the month, which is my type of lifestyle. It's what I love to do. And I love that I'm still doing meaningful work while accomplishing all of this. So for my life, the only thing I regret is that I didn't find this sooner. And I'm super excited for what is to come with the company. And I'd love to just give you guys some nuggets to take away so that you can start to build your business. If you're looking to build it quickly, doing these steps will help you definitely grow it quicker than normal. If you don't want to grow it quickly, that's okay too. But my main piece of advice to you before I start talking about all this is to build a rock solid belief in the company, business-wise, the product, and yourself, because those are the only variable is you. We know that I'm a living, breathing example that the product works and that the company works, the business model, compensation plan. So you're the only variable. And if you're not building a rock solid belief in both of those, then you might as well not try and do this because you're not going to get as far as you want if you're not believing in yourself or believing in what you're doing here. So a few things that I did, I have some notes right here, but a few things that I did, I mentioned the first thing was the 3-way connection call. Is anyone here doing 3-way connection calls? So some heads shake. Okay. It's funny because a lot of people on a lot of teams and just people in general are like, oh my God, I'm so scared to get someone on a 3-way call. That's kind of like bombarding them. Like, I don't want to peer pressure them into anything. For me, being someone who had never done this business before, I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. So when Amy got me on that 3-way call with Ellie, I didn't feel bombarded or like she was pressuring me into anything. I thought that was just what she did. And she was trying to genuinely help me. That's how she went about it. So that's how I would recommend you guys going about your 3-way calls. Just saying, hey, I really just want you to meet this amazing lady. She inspires me so much and she reminds me of you. Like, would you be open to hearing her story? That's all you have to say. You don't have to say, okay, well, the next step is I'm going to get you on a 3-way connection call with someone you don't know and it's going to be awkward. Like, you don't have to make it awkward. So that's kind of like some verbiage you could use. And it really helps if you know someone, whether it's like sideline, upline, whoever, that you can get on the phone that might resonate with the person that you are trying to get on your team. That might really help by just putting them on the phone with someone who would resonate with their story better than you would. Like I said, Amy was a mom who was summering in the Hamptons. She was married. She was not, traveling a bunch. But Ellie, on the other hand, she was traveling, yoga instructor. Her vibe completely resonated with me. So 3-way connection calls, I think, are so important. You could do it for if you have a shred customer, if you have a regular customer, if you want a new teammate. I would say that is the most important thing to get them on board of, this program. So that is one of the things that, one of the nuggets that I want to leave with you guys. Another one is social media branding. I know that a lot of people don't use and haven't used social media to grow their business, which is completely fine. Everyone grows their business in a different way. Here's what I'll say is that social media is free. Facebook and Instagram are free. There's over millions of people on Facebook, and now probably millions, definitely millions on Instagram. So if you don't have those two free marketing tools, but you're in a network marketing business, you're going to go much slower than someone who's really utilizing those tools, because they're just going to meet way more people. They're going to attract people to themselves. And that is essentially attraction marketing. So a few things about building a social media presence. I love when people love Juice Plus. I love Juice Plus, and I love the business and I love the product. But when you're building a brand, you do not need to talk about Juice Plus every day. You should pick 3 things that you're completely passionate about. For example, for me, I love the beach, I love my dog, and I love inspiring people. By usually with like traveling and just like, writing. So that is like the theme of my page. It's really, me at the beach, or me with my dog, or me on the top of a mountain. And I'm talking about things that really mean a lot to me. So for you branding, that is the way that you're going to build trust, and you're going to attract people who like the same things as you, who are going to want to connect with you. So if you love gardening, post about how you love gardening. Post a picture of your garden. Post a picture of you in your garden. You're going to have your husband, your kid, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, take these pictures for you, and they're just going to have to do it. Just say, it's part of my business. This is me working. And really start to talk from your heart on social media. You're going to attract people who just like you for you. And then those are going to become some of your dream team members. Some of my best team members, I only met on social media. We haven't even met in person, or the first time we met in person was at conference. So building your social media brand is important, and building that trust. And then once you do that, I post about Juice Plus. Like I will post about the capsules, and I'll post about the shakes, but probably like once a month. When we're doing the shred, I'll say it's time to gear up and do our Shred 10 program. If you're feeling groggy after the summer, you can join us. Like very, very simple. So then people can see, oh, like I love Lydia's lifestyle. She looks like she has a lot of fun. She looks like she has a lot of free time. I wonder what she does. And then when she does post about the business or the product, they're like, oh my God, that's what she does. Maybe I'll ask her more questions. So that's what I would say about social media. I could go on about social media for days, but I think that's the most important part about social media, is just branding, building trust, and being very authentic with what you put out. You are what sells, not Juice Plus, not anything else. People want what you have because they are inspired by you. Another thing that I would love to talk about is the launch calls. When Brian Rose launched the HRL script, does anyone do launch calls on their team? Yeah, some more heads shaking. Okay, so the launch call is an extremely effective, basically 3-way call, but you can get a bunch of people on the line with you. And it's on the Freedom Revolution. I think it's the Freedom Revolution script, or the Healthy Living Revolution script. You literally have a script to read off of, and you place the products right here, and you get on a call for no more than 30 minutes. It is very simple. You make a flyer for it, just like we did with this, and you just go over, you have your new rep, invite all their family and friends, their whole list to the call, and say even 5 people show up. You run the first one for your new rep. So I would run it for my rep, and I would show them the Juice Plus. I would literally just read the script, tell my story, and then have the new rep tell their story. Usually the new rep hasn't tried the product yet. Or maybe they have, maybe they've been a raving fan and they just decided to join the business. But either way, have them tell their story. And it can just remind them that it can always evolve. Your story is always evolving. So even if you just started the business, your story is going to be, it's still going to be important. I decided to join the business. I actually haven't tried the product yet, but the research made so much sense to me and the business made so much sense to me because I saw these people having freedom while still doing meaningful work. That's your story. So the launch script, I think, is super effective and an amazing way to grow your business rapidly. Another thing that I use as a tool, which I talked about, is the Shred 10. I was running almost 2 shreds a month for the first 3 months that I started because I wanted to get as many people on the shred because I knew that the shred was going to make them feel better in a shorter period of time. I'd have more raving fans. And then when I had more raving fans, I'd have more referrals or potentially more teammates. So half of the people I would get on the shred would join the business after because they'd say, okay, I have 3 to 5 people who want to join me on the shred. How do I go about this? And I'd be like, great, fill out an application. Then we'll place the orders under you. You'll get your HLP. You'll get about $250 when it comes, to commission and bonuses. And then you're set. So that is what I would say about the Shred 10. Definitely try and get people, even if you're not doing it every month, I would start it most months and then fail miserably in the middle or, around the holidays and stuff. But if you're starting one and you're running one and you're getting people on board, it's going to, speed up the process of adding new customers and adding new representatives. And all of this stuff is here for you. Being previously when I was an entrepreneur, traveling around and I was a health coach, I would health coach people all the time. And I would give them these basically Shred 10 programs to do, but just from me to them. And they'd come back in a week or two and give me their food diary. And it would be like Coca-Cola and potato chips and McDonald's. And I'd be like, well, what are you paying me for? Because now I feel bad that you're paying me, but you're not going and doing this. And now when I give my clients the Shred 10 program and it's with a community of people and there's recipes and there's this and there's that, they really succeed with it and they see a difference. And I am able to charge them less for a consultation and more just buy the products and see how you do. And then maybe one day they become a team member. It's all about that customer care. So I think that's really important. And the last nugget I will give you guys, I think I had it written down here, but I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, this is very important. Talking to a lot of people, people think that I might have just had it easier because I'm a social media influencer or I know a lot of people or this or that. That's nothing. It doesn't matter how many people follow me on social media. It matters how many conversations I have off of social media. There's never been a person who said on social media, I want to join your business. I send them the application and they join the business. That's not how it works. You have to take every single conversation that you have offline. So imagine how many conversations I had to have to get to national marketing director in 10 months. There was a lot condensed into those 10 months, a lot of rejection, just as much rejection as there was in, people who have done it in 5 years, 10 years, 2 years. That was all just condensed into 10 months. So I talked to a lot of people. And I would say that it still rings true. 10% of the people you talk to actually want to do the work. So you have to talk to a lot of people and you have to be okay with signing on 100 reps and having only 10 of them really go for it. And you just gotta kind of keep moving on and keep having conversations. So when I first started, I would get 10 people on the line with Ellie at a time, per day. Ellie, Tracy, and Amy. And I just thought that's how the business worked. I just got a bunch of people on 3-way calls because I knew nothing about the business. And then as I learned hearing from them, I was able to get on 3-way calls with my team. And so it's talking. Sometimes I laugh when people are like, well, I don't know. It's not, it's not working for me. I don't, no one wants to buy it. And I'm like, how many people did you talk to this week? And they're like, okay, well, this week I haven't talked to anyone yet because I'm so busy. But and I'm like, well, if you haven't talked to anyone yet, how do you expect to get orders or to get teammates? By just posting on social media, no one's going to just reach out to you after your post on social media. You're gonna stoke curiosity, and they might start liking your post, and they might start, seeing. But and they may reach out, but are you gonna take that conversation offline? No one's going to. I mean, maybe very, very few people will order directly through your site on social media, but most of the time they're gonna need to know that you're a real person, not just trying to sell them something, and that you really care about what they have to say and why they want the product or why they want to do the business. Not everyone wants to hit MD. Some people just want to pay back the cost of their product, and you have to meet them where they're at. So having a lot of conversations, always building your list is so important. And I know Lydia wanted to ask a few questions, so I'm gonna leave some time for that. But one more recommendation I would give you guys is to read the book Get Over Your Damn Self if you haven't. It's really amazing, and our team has been reading it and doing a book club on it, and it's definitely helped me kick back into gear after hitting NMD in June. I took July to like sit down and and relax, and I started this book through July, and I was like, wow, this book is amazing, and it's definitely just getting me ready for August and what's to come. So thank you guys for listening to me talk this entire time. And Lydia, if you want to ask any questions now, I left a few minutes for you.
Okay, great. Well, that is amazing. Thank you, Lacey. And does anybody else want to start? Does anybody have any direct questions for Lacey? Okay. Just go through see what you covered. So I know, belief is so important. So I appreciate that. And so let's say, for instance, on Instagram, because I know you use that a lot. So when people comment or like your post, then do you reach out to them on private message and then go from there? Is that basically how that works for you?
If people like or comment my post, I typically I'll go and look at their page and see if, just kind of learn a little bit more about them, maybe follow them back, start liking their posts, commenting on their posts. But I rarely ever reach out to them directly unless it's a comment saying, well, what do you do? Or I'm interested, or I'm in, or something like that. If they're just commenting like gorgeous photo, or, I don't think they're ready yet. I think that they're just kind of liking what they see. So I'm just going to keep dripping on them through that cold market, and then slowly start to add them to my warm market by following them back and, just starting to like their stuff and comment on their stuff. So then we build a relationship that way. And then that way it's easier to reach out to them. Within a few months, I could be like, hey, I love what you're doing. I'm just so curious what you do. And then that's how I would start that conversation. I wouldn't reach out immediately.
Okay. All right, great. And so Cindy wanted to ask, so let's say, because I know when you're out and about, you talk to people. So when you're in line, let's say at the coffee shop, and you start conversations with strangers, then how do you bridge that over to Juice Plus?
Yeah, that's a good question. It really depends on the energy that I feel coming from the stranger, because we get to choose who we work with. So if I'm talking to someone and they're just like super bummed about everything in life and very negative and just not talkative, then I honestly don't bring it up, because that's probably not someone I want on my team anyway. They're clearly not a people person. But a lot of the time I do develop good connections with people, and I will I will ask about them. What do you do? Do you live here? This time of year, yesterday I was walking with someone. I wasn't walking with them, as a complete stranger, but he came up to me and we started walking. He was super cute old man. And we got talking, and I listened to his whole story about how he's going through this and that. He was in Vietnam and all this stuff. And finally it came to what do I do? And I told him that I'm a yoga instructor, health and wellness professional, all that. And he's like, oh, I could really use some help. Like I'm getting old and this and that. And so I was like, great, give me your information and I'll just send you some information. And that's literally how the conversation went. I really don't ever even mention the company Juice Plus, because then they could go home and Google it and see all of the bad reviews that people have written about it. So instead I just get their contact info and I'll say, let me shoot you an email with some more information, or let me just call you and give you, get you on a call with someone who inspired me. Sometimes I'll just put them right on a 3-way call. But I rarely ever say, oh, I'm a representative for this company, because I think it's hard for people to understand what that means in that short of a conversation.
That's great. Appreciate that. Okay. And I know somewhere along the way, I heard you say that sometimes you send samples out to people. Does that work well for you?
Yeah, that works well for me, and it's worked well for a lot of people on my team. One of my team members in particular has qualified her business that way. She sent out like 25 samples, and almost every single person ordered. So I would say if you're really looking to grow, definitely send out samples to anyone who asks if you can afford it yourself. I'll buy little bags off Amazon and put 1 day's worth of capsules in it and 1 chocolate and 1 vanilla shake, and I'll just send it to them. I'll write them a little note somewhere, but I'm not super creative that way. So I just send it.
Okay, so, and these could be complete strangers that you've met on social media or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, okay, good. do you do any kind of team incentives, or does your team have anything like that that you guys do? Do you think that helps at all?
Yeah, Kim's on the line here. I just saw Kim. Yeah, we do. Every month I'll do a go for 5. So that'll be we'll just try and choose and my upline does team incentives too. So there's a lot of opportunity to win cash prizes or conference tickets or money off of our conference house. So if whoever gets 5 orders gets entered to win, say sometimes it's a $50 cash prize, or sometimes it's as much as $100 cash prize, or sometimes it's as much as just a book that we want everyone to read. Definitely do incentives.
All right, that's fun. Okay, good. And do you have Team International?
Yes.
And was that all through social media? How did you go about that?
Yeah. One of them's my best friend, lives in Australia. She joined the team, and she has an Australian I don't know what you would call it, number, I guess, or tax number. So she's doing it from over there. And then we recently had someone in Spain join and someone from Canada. My thing with international, the Spain and Canada were social media, is that it's hard to, you have a whole new virtual office and a whole new compensation plan. Mm-hmm. So if you're going for NMD, international that business doesn't really help you hitting NMD. Obviously it'll help in the long run with just growing your business, and it's amazing to help people in other countries and just have a business internationally. But as far as going for NMD, I would keep it to this country just so it's less confusing and less work for you, to be honest. But yeah, it's you can still do international, and I definitely still do and aspire to do that too.
Okay, great. Anybody else have any questions? You could either unmute yourselves, or else type it into the comments, into the chat. Okay, I think you've touched on a lot of great points today, Lacey, and I really appreciate your time. I know we're at about 10:30 now, so anybody else have anything? So that was amazing, and let's keep in touch. I appreciate you doing this today, and we've got a recording of this. Hopefully that turned out okay, and that should be available. So have a great day, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you guys for getting on.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.